For the surface studying project, we're going to be talking about density today. From what we understand, density measures the mass of an object or substance compared to its volume. Objects that are heavy and compact have more of a high density compared to objects that are light and take up a lot of space, which have low density. The formula for density is D equals M divided by D, or D equals M divided by V, where D is equal to density, M is equal to mass, and V is equal to volume. The SI units that are displayed for density could be, or is part of, kilograms divided by meters to the third cubed, and grams divided by centimeters cubed. As we move on, we're going to talk about mass, which is an important part of density, and you can't talk about density without understanding the different parts that make up density. For this different part, we're talking about mass, which is one of the biggest parts of density. Mass is how much matter an object takes up, or in simpler terms, how heavy an object may be. Mass is not to be confused with weight. Weight, for one, is involved with gravity. It's measured with gravity, yet that changes depending on your atmosphere. It can change depending on where you are. Weight can change, yet mass stays the same no matter wherever you are. It could be on Earth, it could be on the moon, it could be anywhere else in outer space. Your mass is always going to stay the same, and your gravity or weight is going to change. The SI unit for mass is kilograms and grams. Next part of density that we're going to talk about is volume. You can't have density without volume. Volume is the amount of space that a substance or object occupies, or to put it in simpler terms, the amount of space an object takes up, depending on the object. The SI units for volume pertaining to density is meters cubed and centimeters cubed. I have a few examples of density in the real world, how we could have real world applications. For example, a student measures the mass of an 8 centimeter cube block of brown sugar to be 12.9 grams. What is the density of brown sugar? Now we know to find density, you have to take your mass divided by your volume. So in this case, the mass is 12.9 grams and the volume is 8 centimeters cubed. If you take 12.9 and divide it by 8, you get 1.61 grams centimeters cubed. Now on to the next example, which is a little bit different but pertains to the same idea. It says calculate the volume of a liquid with a density of 5.45 grams milliliters and a mass of 65 grams. So we already know density equals mass divided by volume. But yet, once you manipulate that formula, you get volume equals mass divided by density. The mass in this case is 65 grams, and the density in this case is 5.45 grams milliliters. If you take 65 and divide it by 5.45, you get a volume which is 11.9 milliliters. Now, example 3, it pertains to the same idea, but it is also a little different, yet switched around. It says to calculate the mass of a liquid with a density of 2.5 grams milliliters and a volume of 15 milliliters. Density equals mass divided by volume. This formula we already know. If we manipulate the formula again, you get mass equals volume times density. The volume in this case is 15 milliliters, and density in this case is 2.5 gram liters. If you take 15 and multiply it by 2.5, you get a volume of 37.5 grams. And that is how you find density, that is how you find mass, and that is how you find volume in this whole ideal of density.